Hello, class. This is Dr. Miller. Welcome to week 3 of our MDAA202 course. We've successfully completed weeks 1 and 2. As a reminder, if you are missing any work from week 1 or week 2, it's not too late to submit it. Double check the grade book. Make sure you've got a submission for everything. If I'm missing a submission, you'll have received an email from me saying, hey, something's missing. If you're missing enough that it's really impacting your score, you're going to receive a second email from me that's going to be more detailed, directed right to you, saying, hey, is there anything I can do to help you? This is the work that you're missing. I want you to succeed. So keep an eye out for those communications from me. The grades that were for the work that was submitted last week, those grades will be posted no later than Thursday. I'd probably say you can probably expect your grades to be posted by Tuesday. Sometimes, if I've got a lot on my plate for the first couple of days of the week, that might slide into Wednesday, but definitely no later than Thursday. Okay, so that's kind of looking back. Now let's look forward into week 3. In week 3, we're going to be concentrating our learning on third-party payers. As you can see up on the screen, I have our week 3 folder open. You've got a number of assignments to complete this week. In fact, you have 5. Just make sure you can see my hand. You got 5 assignments to finish. The first assignment is your reading assignment, and that's a connect activity on third-party payers. So make sure that you read through the work and then also complete the questions in order to have your grade transferred into our grade book. Then, the other work that you have this week, you have a discussion. And in this discussion, we're going to be describing the 4 parts of Medicare and what each part covers, explain how Medicare eligibility requirements and coverage have changed over time, given the current trends, predict other changes you expect will occur with Medicare within the next decade. Right? You should be posting your initial post no later than Wednesday. That gives you enough time between Wednesday and Saturday to be able to have an opportunity to earn full credit, because remember, you have to participate over 3 separate days and respond to 3 of your classmates. So now we're looking at your Connect assignments. I recommend completing that today or tomorrow. Then you've got your discussion board. Start participating in the discussion board no later than Tuesday or Wednesday. Now you've got 3 other assignments to complete. The first one is a report on third-party payers. In here, you'll see you've got 2 different documents. You've got the instructions, the directions, and the rubric, and then you have a template. Let's take a look at those. So here is the information on the third-party payers. So the third-party payers, the directions, approximately 1/3 of all insured Americans are insured by a governmental insurance plan. Part 1 of this assignment, you're going to be creating a job aid that new billing specialists can use as a quick reference tool for information on governmental third-party payers. And part 2 is going to be your short reflection. So you're going to be using a template, and you are going to be completing an example with the payer, who regulates it, what are the eligibility requirements, what are covered services, the claims filing deadline, and locating a customer service telephone number. And then after you do that, the second half is your reflection. And so in at least 300 words, compare the third-party payer's eligibility requirements and covered services to address the following prompts. Explain which payer you would recommend for a 35-year-old male with ESRD. Justify which payer you would recommend for a 28-year-old unemployed female being admitted for delivery. And then based on your analysis of each payer, describe which one provides the most comprehensive services. And also in these directions, you'll find the grading rubric. Let's take a quick look at the template. This is the template that you will be completing and submitting for this assignment. So you'll fill in your name, and then you have, just like in this example on top for Medicare Part A, you're going to be doing the same thing for Cigna HMO, the Managed Care Plan. Disability, Medicaid, and maybe say disability, think about SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance. Medicaid for your specific state. Medicare Part B, TRICARE, military coverage. United Healthcare, private payer, so it'd be like a PPO, and then workers' compensation. So you're going to be researching and filling in these 7 types of payers. Then you're going to be completing your 300-word reflection and include your references. Where did you find your information? Right? You always want to give your attribution or credit to where you found your information, because you don't know this off the top of your head. You found this information somewhere. Okay, so we are going to return back to our weeks folder, because that's your third-party payer assignment. Next, you have the second step of your portfolio project, which is calculating insurance reimbursement. So let's take a look at that one too. So here is the template that is linked. It's linked right here. It's also linked in week 1, where you find your portfolio project directions and rubric. That template is also linked there. So you may have downloaded it already, but let's take a look at it. Here's the template. You're going to fill in your name, and then for the scenarios listed below, the charges and patient copay, it's not copy, maybe a little typo there, copay have been provided for you. Calculate the patient's coinsurance in the amount the insurance pays based on an 80-20 distribution, using the following formulas for the calculations. So the amount due is the charges column minus the patient copay column. The patient's, so that gives you that a calculation there. The patient's coinsurance is 20% of this column, and the insurance is 80% of this column. So we can work through this first calculation together. I'm going to open up a calculator. I'm going to make it smaller because it doesn't need to take up our entire screen, but I would like it there so you can see it and follow along. So in the first line, where we have the family practice medical visit, where the charge was $132, the patient copayment is $25, we would take 132 minus 25 to equal 107. So 107 is what is going to go into this amount due field here. The patient's coinsurance is 20% of 107. So we're going to say times 0.2. So 21.40 is what the patient's coinsurance should be. Then we're going to figure out how much the insurance is going to pay. The insurance is going to pay that 132 minus 25, because that's what we're fitting into this amount due, that 107. I'm going to say that is going to be 107. We're saying that the patient's coinsurance is 21.4. And then we can calculate this last column one of 2 ways. We can either say it's 107 times 80%, and it comes out to 8560. Or we could just say 107 minus 2140 gives us 8560, the difference. So, excuse me, hopefully you see how these calculations have been made. And we're going to do that the same way all the way down for all of these services. You're going to be filling in these 3 columns for all of these services. You're going to save it, and it becomes the next step of your portfolio project. Finally, your last assignment out of the 5 that you're completing this week is your week 3 check-in. All right, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach it, and have a great week.